Hi, Aries Sun and Rising. Welcome to your May 2023 Astro Update. It's Raina here. May is a month where I think that your finances should be banging. Now, as the month begins, we have a Mercury retrograde in Taurus, and for you, this is the second house of earned income. So I do feel like until the middle of the month that there might be some kind of snafus in that area that need to be ironed out. The check is in the mail, that kind of thing. But then it gets good. So let's start at the beginning of the month. On the first of the month, Pluto goes retrograde at 22 minutes, not degrees, not even 1 degree, like one almost less than 1/4 of a degree. Of Pluto, of Aquarius. And this is, for you, really going to be in the 10th house because for all intents and purposes, okay? So I'm going to focus on the 10th house because on June 11th, it will officially go back into Capricorn. And Pluto in the 10th house can be a time, I'm just talking about when it's direct, where the person feels a sense of wanting, maybe obsessed with power, obsessed with success. If it coincides with you having your first Saturn return, it could be that you're trying to prove yourself. If it's during your second Saturn return, and for some reason, which comes in your late 50s, the first one comes in your late 20s, to about 30 or early 30s. But the second one comes in your late 50s. And so in the case of some of those people, you may be feeling like you made the wrong choices and this is your last chance for success. I'm not saying that it is. I'm saying that you may feel that way and then you're like obsessed with proving that you really are awesome. And I'm just giving an example of why that could be based on other things that are going on. But this can be for anyone. And the good thing about this retrograde is it's going to bring it back to yourself. So even if you have those desires, you're going to be probing deep inside of yourself and say, why? Because another thing that is very important to note is that when you have Pluto in the 10th house, I'm talking about the transit of it, you could have a fall from grace. Grace meaning your reputation could suffer. You could do something underhanded that ends up coming back to you and you have this public humiliation. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen for everyone, but Pluto is the lord of the underworld. So when Pluto goes into any house, you have to be careful of an offer that you can't refuse. In this house, it might be some way to kind of get ahead of someone else professionally or whatever. Or do something that's underhanded to get successful in some way. And you have to resist that temptation. And, Aries is a very competitive sign. So, but Aries tends to be above board. It's just that because you're impulsive, plus you tend to be competitive, that mix could come back to haunt you if you're not in awareness of what it is that is kind of influencing that. So if you have had a tendency, like for instance, if you have Mars in your natal Mars in the 10th house already, Mars is the ruler of Aries, you may already naturally be very ambitious, but even to the point of wanting to take over from your supervisors and maybe you clash with them. And so you have to see, okay, well, what is really going on here? Oh, yeah, I have daddy issues. My father was in the military and I really resented his authoritarian approach or whatever. Okay, so on the 3rd, we have a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Ooh, 14 degrees of Scorpio. And because you follow the template of the universal chart, Aries, you are the 0 point of the astrological new year when the sun goes into Aries. And we had a new moon, by the way, a day after that this year. And we also just got done with your solar eclipse. So Aries people must have, I'm thinking that you must be affected by these eclipses or this eclipse somehow. But anyway, this is falling in your 8th house. And this is Scorpio's domain, and it's a lunar eclipse, so that heightens that purging effect. And that can be something that really is a feeling of rebirth in some cases for some of you. So this is really the rebirth will, you could look at that as the new moon, but I see this also kind of like clearing the decks, shadow work, bringing things up to the surface to be released. This is a good time to really, I think this is a wonderful energy for shamanism, anything that you're doing to transform your life. And letting go of an old aspect of yourself, maybe in a very major way. On the 7th, we have Venus going into Cancer. There's another angular house like Aries. This is for you, the 4th house of home and family. And Venus going here can mean that you receive money from your mother, or some people say this is the father's house for whatever reason. Money from the family of origin, money from real estate could be this for sure. Maybe you're decorating your house somehow, getting it painted or whatnot. You can just feel like that sense of peace in your home. On the 14th, Mercury goes direct. So this will be when maybe your finances will start to feel more settled again. And anything financial and it could have something to do with a contract or anything, that can be sorted out in the next few weeks. On the 16th, Jupiter goes into Taurus. So that's very fortunate for financial matters. Jupiter can mean that your finances are expanded in the next 12 months. So from May 2023 to May 2024. You may create additional income streams as well. So you're making money from more than one place. That's always a possibility. You could just have luck with money. Money may seem like it's effortless in how you earn it. On the 19th, which is 3 days later, we have a new moon at 28 degrees of Taurus in this house. So that could be initiating something. Mercury is direct now. So maybe this is a money-making venture that is being initiated. Or if it's not being initiated, it's being invented. You're creating it. On the 20th, Mars goes into Leo, and that is another fire energy like Aries. For you, Aries, this is your 5th house of creativity and love. And Mars here can be very lusty and very physical. This is also the house of like pastimes, hobbies, fun things to do, pleasure. So Mars in the fifth could be like competitive sports. That might be something, you joining a softball league or what have you. But this could be like a fling that you are engaging in, or something along those lines as well, or just being attracted to somebody that you see. On the 21st, we have the sun going into Gemini. So the sun is going into the third house, and that is more cerebral, more chatty, more local, where you're, kind of like maybe you're chatting with neighbors or you're involved with local events. So that's what I have for you, Aries. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double readings, namely my deep dive readings, which are at a special price when you buy 2 of them together in a package. An hour of natal chart interpretation and an hour of transits for the next 12 months. And I have a package deal with the tarot. Natal chart interpretation with the tarot for a special price called the whole enchilada. I do have standalone readings as well. You can find out more information at the link below. I'm at RenaMoonAstrology.com. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye.